Welcome. She hates that when I do that.
I hate it when he does that. Welcome to another episode of
What You Watchin'.
What You Watchin'.
Peaky Blinders style.
So last week we alluded to a episode of one of my favorite series, and I said it was sneaky.
Look at she's getting creative. All right.
But it's really Peaky Blinders.
Right.
I still have a broken arm.
Yeah.
I will have a broken arm for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Every morning I break my legs, and every afternoon I break my arms.
Those of you that don't know, this is very exciting because I love Peaky Blinders.
She does. Trust me, she does.
6 seasons, but it's been like 7 or 8 years because they had to take a break during COVID, and then one of their main stars passed away from cancer. So they had a large hiatus, but it's a wonderful, if you haven't seen it, it seems really dark. It's a family saga.
It is very dark.
It's dark and violent, but there's a lot of really good story to it.
Great characters.
Great characters. It takes place in the 1920s at the end of World War I in a very poor town called Birmingham. The main star, Cillian Murphy? Yeah, Cillian Murphy. I can't imagine anybody else in this part.
I can't either. And it's funny, if you watch an interview with him, he looks completely different.
Well, he's been in Peaky Blinders the last 8 years.
8 years now.
He was in Batman. He was in a movie called Red Eye. But I mean, there's a whole cast of characters. It's about the Shelby family.
They're gypsies.
They're gypsies.
Gypsies. Very important part.
Yeah. And why do they call them the Peaky Blinders?
Because they would wear these types of hats, and then what they would do is they would sew in razor blades, and then what would happen is if they get in a fight, they go like that.
Or they headbutt them.
Or they headbutt them. So they would do this, and it would basically blind
Slice
them.
them. Or they have the razor blades here, and they just go.
Yeah, they headbutt them. Boom.
Very violent.
So,
but it's also a family story. Kind of like The Godfather.
It's like Disney.
But that was a family story.
it's very Disney-like.
There's actually more women in this one.
Yeah,
Very strong women.
very strong women.
Shut up and listen.
Have you lost your
I
mind?
said shut up.
And who played the matriarch of the family?
And Polly.
And Polly. I don't know
a
what
lot of-
accent I'm doing. That's a terrible accent.
Well,
Anyway.
the funny thing is there were so many different kinds of accents in the movie because they deal with
Right.
the IRA, and then they've got the Irish accents. There's different levels of the British accent depending on where you come from, and kind of like here, you're a New Yorker, you're a Southerner, you're
Yeah.
from Chicago. So they didn't have anybody come in and consult on languages.
They didn't?
No, which is really interesting. People just came
So they just came in with their own
People
adaptation
just-
of
I
what
guess
that
so.
language would be for
I
that
guess.
specific character?
Yeah, I
Wow,
guess
that's
so.
kind of crazy.
Hello, Governor. Is your mum at home?
There was a character, he consulted with Liam Neeson because
Really?
even though he was Irish, he was raised in New Zealand. And so he talked to Liam Neeson to help him with his Irish accent. And then they had to tone it down because it was so accurate that the American audience couldn't understand him.
So who was originally looked at to play the lead?
Well, you know how to pronounce his name,
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham. That'd be like Scarlett O'Hara being played by anybody else.
Anybody.
That's my reference.
Great balls of fire. Don't bother me anymore. And don't call me sugar.
Interesting, though, how the executive producer and creator of the show said it was because it is a dark show. He made a very specific effort to make sure that the violence had repercussions. So if there was something that was done, you always saw what the outcome of that was if there was violence that was done in the show.
Yeah.
that was really
the family
interesting.
had to have consequences for their viance, and that's how
And there was a lot of consequences.
a lot of violence. That's how he justified all the violence, but he was also trying to make it accurate for the time period. And another tip is that Cillian Murphy smokes all the time. Smoke.
Constantly, literally. I think I was getting secondhand smoke through the TV.
Yeah, he's constantly smoking, and they counted, and he smokes an average of 3,000 cigarettes a season.
But they're not real cigarettes, though.
No.
It wasn't tobacco. That was what I
No.
thought was really interesting. It was like herbs or something
Yeah,
else. Like
and he said it was actually good for him. It's full of natural nutrients that your body needs, unlike actual smoke. It's herbal.
But it was interesting. If you watch the show, he always takes the cigarette out and then he goes, and he kind of rolls it around his lip. Why did he do that? He said it in an interview.
He said in an interview, and he said that, well, because they're paper.
Oh, it would stick
and
to
they
your
would
lips.
stick, and so he would lick his lip and then just kind of
And then
wet
roll it.
and then stick it.
Yeah.
He has so many great little idiosyncrasies. He's such a good actor.
Yeah, it was
The
cool.
story's great. We don't want to tell you too much about the storyline. One, because we've been watching it over an 8-year period and we don't really remember all of them. But
So the last season, which was season 8,
just ended.
just ended. We just finished it, and there is quite the twist at the end. A
And
big twist.
The good thing about it is they're going to make a movie.
Well, you can't tell people
They've
that.
already put it out in the press.
Okay, they're going to make a movie.
They put it out
They're
in
making a movie.
in the rags. But unfortunately, it's not going to come out till 2024,
Right.
which is a long time from
But
now.
you notice that that's really happening. I think it's an interesting dynamic that takes place where you get these really great series that, you know, you get to go and binge watch for 8 episodes or 10 episodes or, 10 seasons. And then they're like, okay, we're done. And they did it with Downton Abbey. They did it, they've done it with a bunch of different shows. It's been really interesting.
Speaking of Downton Abbey,
The show writers and producers specifically set out for this to be the anti-Downton Abbey.
Right. So the other thing that was interesting too was the creator of the show,
Stephen Knight.
Stephen Knight, would not watch any other shows like Boardwalk Empire. What was the other one that he wouldn't watch?
The Wire.
Oh, The Wire, because they were kind of along the same lines as Peaky Blinders. He wanted to make sure that he wouldn't pick up anything from watching those other shows and then put it into Peaky Blinders. So I thought that was really
Well, he wanted to stay with his own creativity.
He wanted to stay with his own creative vision.
Yeah, it's like you see an idea and then you think it's your idea. You don't really know where you got it.
Right. So on a Lazy Boy, what are you thinking?
Oh, I give it a 5.
Wow.
As you all know, I don't give my
There's
5s
only
out.
been, this is the third 5,
Third
right?
5. We were sucked in. I
We
give
digress.
Ozark a 5, Lazy Boy.
And now this. Okay.
And it's amazing to me how many people haven't seen this and how many people have seen it, because we were just at a dinner party the other night
Yeah.
and half the people were like,
Peaky Blinders, I've heard about that, but I've
That's
heard
why
it's really
this,
violent.
that's why what you're watching is so important.
It's life-changing.
well,
It's life-changing.
and we get so many comments from people, and we have another one coming up. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's so random, and we never in a million years would have known about it. But
No.
we're going to watch it, and we're going to review it.
Well, here's the funny part. Is this what we thought we were watching last night?
No.
Okay, we're at this dinner. Stephanie's sitting next to her friend, and she says,
Oh, you have to watch blah, 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 blah.
and so we get home last night, and we're like, oh, we're going to watch this. We watch it. We watched the first whole episode of season 1, and she realized after she looks back at her phone that it's not the right show. So we watch this random show and thinking, what is this about, and why are we watching this? You know what's great about being an empty nester
Been married a long time.
and married a long time is you just both start forgetting stuff, and it doesn't matter.
Which is really exciting because tomorrow is Zeus's birthday. And Zeus turns a big number. And it's a big number that I've already been. And so I've had to live in this world for the last 8 months all by myself.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
I definitely married the cougar.
Do you remember where we were last year for your birthday? We
I-
did an episode.
We did?
Yeah. Today is Zeus's birthday.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Zeus.
Thank you, 59.
We've been doing this for over a year.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
We have 100 episodes now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And what you're watching? Having so much fun doing it. So put in the comments, tell us what you're watching. We want to know so we can watch it. And you know what? Peaky Blinders.
By orders of the Peaky Blinders.